You're watching a Highwire Media podcast.
Welcome to the Talkin' Texas Rangers show. As always, I'm your host, Larry Lease. Today we're diving into all the latest headlines coming out of Rangers off-season beginnings. Before we do that, give me your thoughts on all the topics we cover in the comment section below. And with that, let's dive into our first topic. So the question is, what will the Rangers look like during Skip Schumaker's tenure? It's official, Skip is the successor to Bruce Bochy in Arlington. Announced by the club Friday, the 45-year-old is the 21st full-time manager in Rangers history. He signed a 4-year deal that runs through 2029. This will be Skip's second managerial gig after a 2-year stint with Miami in 2023 to 24. He led a ragtag group of Marlins to the playoffs with an 84-78 in his first season at the helm. It was a pretty simple hiring process, made official just days after Bochy's departure. What will the Rangers look like with Schumaker in the manager's office next season? Schumaker was the right fit for the job, having spent last season in a front office advisory role with Texas. He's regarded as one of the game's top young managers, which is exactly what Texas needs in their pursuit to the continued development of their young core. One huge emphasis from the team this week was having a manager built to handle that situation. Prior to the Schumaker's hiring, President of Baseball Operations, Chris Young, said it was crucial for the next man in charge to be built to engage with a young core, saying, quote, "We are probably going to be a little bit of a younger team next year. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be player development that continues at the big league level, and I think those are going to be important aspects of whomever we select as our next manager." While the 2023 Marlins were one of the older teams in baseball that season, averaging 30.1 years old, their big-name players were on the younger side. The oldest pitcher in the 5-man starting rotation was 27 years old. Among the offense, 6 of the top 10 players with the most games played for Miami were in their 20s. Brian De La Cruz, Luis Ariz, Jesus Sanchez, Nick Fortes, Garrett Hampson, and Jazz Chisholm. Schumaker hopes to blend history with organization and managerial style to transform roster. A lot will be touched on this offseason with an uncertain goal for 2026 outside of simply lowering payroll to stay under the luxury tax and putting more showcase on the younger guys. Through all that, they still believe what they have and what they can put together will be able to compete. It's unclear what all that means. Where will they slash payroll, and how big of a factor will be the last 2 off-seasons have on some of the organization's well-known names. Jonah Heim and Adolis Garcia are 2 under the microscope the most, but there's also rumblings that Marcus Semien might be on his way out of Arlington as well. Regardless, Texas will continue moving forward with Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter as the team's young centerpieces. Throw in 2-time World Series MVP Corey Seager and an already elite pitching staff. Texas will go to work this offseason, transforming the offensive philosophy, reinforce their weaknesses, and hopefully 2026 will be different. It might seem like dark times for Ranger fans after missing the playoffs for the second straight season, but Schumaker is a great fit, great for the future growth. And now on to our next topic. Could the Rangers' $175 million man be on his way out of Arlington? President of Baseball Operations Chris Young and Rangers ownership have made it clear that they will be looking to reduce the payroll next season. Rumors are that Ironman's second baseman Marcus Semien, who is coming off his worst season since joining the club, could be on the move this offseason. He still has 3 years left on his deal. And with 3 years left on his 7-year, $175 million deal, the Rangers would have to eat at least part, if not all, of the $72 million he's still owed. If the Rangers decided to split up the Semien and Corey Seager power middle infield duo, which has been together for 4 years now, it would signal that the team is truly committed to reducing its salary moving forward. The team would be left with a couple of options, including giving Cody Freeman a good look, or they could go out and sign a free agent to take over the second base. Arias, Gleyber Torres, and former Ranger IKF are all unrestricted free agents who would come at a cheaper price tag. When the Rangers won the World Series in 2023, Semien had a career year. He played in all 162 games, led the league in at-bats, and led the American League with 185 hits. He finished the season hitting .276 with 24 home runs and 100 RBIs while finishing third in AL MVP voting. The year after that spectacular season, his average dipped all the way to .237, and his OPS dropped from .826 to .699. This season was even worse as the Gold Glover hit just .230 with a .639 OPS and ended the year on the IL with a left foot fracture. Semien turned 35 in September, and his downward trajectory at the plate over the last several seasons may indicate that the team is willing to cut bait and hit the refresh button. Now we're going to take a look at 3 players the Rangers will mistakenly discard this offseason. The Texas Rangers officially have their new skipper in Skip Schumaker. Now comes the truly challenging part for the organization, narrowing down who fits and who doesn't fit on the roster for 2026. In a normal offseason, that comes as a challenge, but facing a lackluster offense, fan base breathing down your neck, and an owner that doesn't seem willing to throw money at the problem to fix it, it's beyond just a challenge. During the winter, President of Baseball Operations, the rest of the front office, and Schumaker will make moves to formulate the 2026 roster. Some moves will be justified, others might be seen as missing the mark. So 3 players who the Rangers will mistakenly discard this offseason? Well, right off the bat, no pun intended, Josh Young at third base. This move only makes sense if Texas gets a suitable replacement in return. No, I'm not talking about Josh Smith, Cody Freeman, or Ezekiel Duran. Young still has miles better hitting and defensive talent than either of the 3 options. I'm referring to attracting the likes of an incoming free agent like Alex Bregman or Max Muncy. Young's difficulties and inability to stay on the field have been well documented the last few seasons. In my mind, it's nothing that really spending time with on his mental approach couldn't fix. He has an issue chasing pitches out of the strike zone, which is an easier problem to fix than simply not being able to hit the ball. Then we have Tyler Mahle. Free agent this winter, Mahle is perhaps the best option to add to the back of the Rangers' rotation for a relatively team-friendly deal. He returned from Tommy John surgery near the end of 2024 and started the 2025 season as perhaps one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. In his first 6 starts of the season, he threw 30.1 innings, allowing just 4 earned runs, striking out 26 batters, and limiting hitters to a .157 average in April. However, he hit the injured list again in mid-June and missed the majority of the second half. Mahle returned in September to make 2 final starts and threw 9.2 innings of 1-run ball, striking out 10 batters, walking 2, and finishing the overall season 6-4 with a .218 ERA in 16 games. And then we have Marcus Semien. It seems every year they make a move that is less popular among the fan base, and trading this Semien this winter feels like it. While we've seen his numbers trend downward since the 2023 World Series win, there is a lot that he still brings to the table. When the 35-year-old is on a streak, it's insanely fun to watch and how he goes. The rest of the offense follows. He also is still one of the better defenders on the league and is the reason he will have a positive WAR this season, despite the offensive struggles. There have been rumors Semien wants out of Texas, not at all backed by anyone close to the situation. However, if he does want out, it would be best to find a new home for him. It would be a mistake, though. And now, how important is it for the Rangers to go into 2026 with an established closer? Closers are becoming severely undervalued in today's game. They are either the most loved or most hated players on any given team, and Skip Schumaker will likely forego the closer by committee approach and establish a consistent closer. In a season full of so many mistakes, there was one that was glaring so many times. The lack of a consistent, dominant ninth-inning figure cost them a lot of close games. Pitching was certainly not to blame for the disastrous 2025 season, but there is always room for improvement. There are a lot of ways to improve the bullpen, and a closer is at the top of the list. Ever since letting Kirby Yates walk in the 2024 offseason, something has been off with the closer role for the Rangers. 9 players recorded a save this season, which is not typical of a dominant team. The lack of top-tier velocity and movement is paramount in an era that has Mason Miller, Aroldis Chapman. The Rangers deployed Hobie Milner, Chris Martin, and Robert Garcia. The bullpen yielded great numbers everywhere outside of the final inning. The bullpen would go on to record 29 blown saves, which would be second in the league to the LA Angels, who had 33. This is a shockingly large number for a bullpen that was top half of the bullpen in most other statistical categories. The inability to close out games was devastating for a team that could not score runs, handicap their potential. So what's the answer for Texas? Signing a free agent arm to be a full-time closer is a necessity. The team is likely going to start flawed. Getting an answer to a major problem is at the top of the list. The bullpen for the Rangers will likely need a full rebuild for 2026. The limited internal options available that could fill the role aren't promising. Jacob Webb, Josh Sborz, Robert Garcia, Luis Cervello are currently the only bullpen pitchers rostered for next year, which is a major shortage in proven experience and top-tier velocity. This leads to the most likely option coming from the minor leagues or free agency. Mark Church and, apologies, I'm butchering this guy's name, Emiliano Teodo are the only real options that are ready or developing to be a closer. The most likely option is finding a cheaper veteran arm that can fill the role. Rumors of the Rangers cutting salary are likely to become a major reality and handicap to the options. Retaining arms like Phil Maton or Danny Coulomb is a likelihood that would compound 2025's problems to 2026. An intriguing option would be Cole Winn. Winn enjoyed a fruitful 2025, but his underlying numbers are worrying. The low chase, whiff, strikeout, walk, and barrel percentage look to regress his numbers to the mean. It is a risky option to buy in on. Fixing the blown save problem can flip the script in 2026. If 29 blown saves is cut down to just 19, the Rangers outright win the division in 2025 with an abysmal offense. If the closer problem is fixed or even just less flawed, the Rangers could be a problem. The AL West is once again wide open, and a consistent closer would allow the Rangers to be the best version of themselves in a retooling season. So let me know your thoughts on all the topics we covered in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up if you like our video, hit that subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification button to be notified of future videos, and of course, if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TTRangers. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.